Another beautiful Sunday evening. Do you know that research makes us to understand that gratitude brings about psychological and even emotional well-being? Yes, a research in University of California found out that with gratitude, you will be happier. In fact, it also affects both physical health, because gratitude can even make you sleep better and normalize your blood pressure. Welcome to Relationship Matters. My name is Dr. Ufoma Nwachukwu. How has it been? Today we are going to be taking the second episode in the series Gratitude. Last week we started that series and we talked about what gratitude really means. And we talked about the 3 A's of gratitude. Have you watched that last week's episode? If you haven't, then it would be very necessary that after today's session, you go back and watch that session, because it is a foundation, understanding gratitude. Today we are going to be taking it a step further. We're going to be looking at how gratitude affects healing. We've said over and over again that you need to be whole in order to have a healthy relationship. People who are broken, they just do nothing else than producing unhealthy relationships. Unhealed people come bring about an unhealed heart, bring about broken relationships, because you end up bleeding on people who didn't cause you harm. Now, what is the effect of lack of gratitude? How does lack of gratitude reflect? You understand with me that people who are not grateful, they are always embittered. They are always complaining about one thing or the other. They are always not satisfied with what the partner does, if you bring it down to issues of relationship. So there is always complaint. There is always this feeling of the person has not done enough, entitlement mentality, which leads to bitterness. And when anybody is in that frame of mind, in fact, the person's heart is sick. The person is emotionally down. No wonder the Bible says that a merry heart doeth good like medicine. I was sharing with them during Sunday school in church today that the Bible makes us to understand that through joy, you will draw water out of the wells of salvation. So, if there is no joy, if you are always sad, if you're always complaining, if you're always embittered, there is no way you can have access to the fullness that God has prepared for you. Because he said, in everything, give thanks. He said, you should be careful for nothing. Don't bother about anything. But by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your request be made known unto him. So, gratitude is something that can bring you health, even in your mind, in your soul, including physical health. So today we are going to be looking at, says, I see you. That whatever it is, the efforts you are putting in, I am seeing it. It's not going unnoticed. That's why I said last week, if you see something, you say something. Because gratitude means you are aware that this person is doing that thing. You appreciate what the person is doing, and then you articulate it by putting it in words. So gratitude helps to soften the heart, because it will make the person feel seen. Because if there is no gratitude, the person is resentful, it hardens the heart. But in the place, in a situation where you are grateful to that person, when the person feels appreciated, the heart is softened. And instead of the person holding back, the person is willing to do more. The person is willing to invest more into that relationship. The next thing would be that gratitude shifts the focus from the wound or brokenness to wholeness. So when somebody is grateful, you are taking your mind away. It's not as if there was never pain. When the Bible says that in all things give thanks, it doesn't mean that there wouldn't be pain. That when those situations happened, you will not feel saddened. But gratitude means that you are looking beyond the pain and you are also finding a reason to be grateful because it could have been worse than that. So this is saying that I feel the pain, but beyond the pain, I am appreciative that the situation is not worse than this. Okay, so for instance, I asked them a question in church today. I said, if somebody has an accident and then the car is damaged beyond repair, would there be any reason to be grateful? Would there be any reason to be appreciative? Somebody will say, but why did God even allow that accident to happen? Couldn't he have stopped it? So I was involved in an accident some time ago. I was with my husband in the car, and then instead of diverting to the right as I was approaching an express, I just went straight across the express, a very busy express. So we entered into the gutter and came out on the other side of the express. The car was damaged. I was rushed to the hospital. If not for God, we would have died. So even though the car was damaged, even if the car was damaged beyond repair, I will still be grateful because it is only a car that got lost. I did not lose my life. So when we say that gratitude shifts the focus from the wound or brokenness to wholeness, it means that beyond whatever it is, you are able to look beyond the pain and whatever negative situation and say that in the midst of this, I still appreciate that this and this happened. So if you bring it down to relationship, for instance, probably your spouse is not able to do what you expected. The person was not able to, maybe, okay, so you are sharing a story. I think it was in our last edition I talked about, okay, so your friends, the husband of your friend bought a car for the person, and then your husband was only able to buy a phone. And you are feeling pained. But gratitude means you are looking beyond this pain and also saying, beyond this, I am grateful that this person was able to do this. The next thing about how gratitude brings healing is that it creates emotional safety. That instead of you saying that this person never does anything right, you are actually going ahead, looking beyond maybe the negative thing that happened in that moment to acknowledge that the person put in so and so effort. So it brings about emotional safety because it will bring the person closer to you. It will bring about bonding. For the issue remains that if you are never appreciative of what the person does, the person would never want to open up to you. The person will never be vulnerable. The person would not want to give his or her best in that relationship. So gratitude brings about emotional safety and will make cause there to be bonding in that relationship. And another one is that gratitude unlocks ability to easily forgive. I mentioned in our last episode that unforgiveness and gratitude cannot dwell in the same hearts. So if you are grateful to somebody and you are grateful for whatever the person is investing into that relationship, you will also be able to easily forgive because you are looking beyond whatever that person has done and focusing on the positives. So everybody has weaknesses and everybody has areas of strength. So if because of the weakness of that person, the person has done something wrong, gratitude means you are looking beyond what that person has done at that moment. You are focusing on the positives and saying that even though the person has done this negative thing, there were times also the person was able to do so and so and so positive things, and that would soften the heart of that person and make you to easily forgive. It's more like depositing into the emotional bank account and withdrawing when there are tough times. You are able to go back to those deposits that were made earlier into the emotional bank account, and you are able to make withdrawals. You are able to tell yourself, even though the person did this and this and this at this moment, there was also once upon a time that the person did this positive thing. So you are able to draw strength from the positive things that the person had done in the past. And the last one I would like to talk about is that it restores hope. It restores hope. It makes you, if you are grateful, it's more like you are saying, okay, I'm seeing beyond this moment. Everything is not ending with this. I am seeing beyond this. Even though the person might not have done perfectly in this particular moment, I know that as I invest into this relationship, much more is going to come out of this relationship. I don't know if this has blessed you. What are you going to be grateful for today? Because a merry heart doeth good like medicine. I want you to remove your focus from the negatives. Even apart from your relationship with your spouse, talking about your relationship also with God and with other people. As the year is gradually coming to an end, it is necessary for you to begin to count your blessings. Name them one by one. Yes, it is possible that you had this long list at the beginning of the year, things that you really wanted God to do for you, and the year is coming to an end and you're wondering, churches are having their Thanksgiving, do I really have any reason to be grateful? It is time for you to come out of that state, because by the time you start thinking of that, it weighs you down. Why do people get depressed? Why do people have mental health issues and they get depressed? Somebody that is grateful will hardly slide into depression. I say that again. Somebody that is grateful will hardly slide into depression. People get depressed when they are overwhelmed with thoughts of the challenges that they are passing through, and they are feeling as if there is no hope anymore. Like I said now, that gratitude brings about hope. It tells you that I am grateful for what this person has done for me. If the person was able to do this now, even though it's not that much, I am hopeful that in the future, the person will be able to do much more. The person, this relationship will work better as the both of us put in our best. So the people that end up finding themselves into depression and sometimes end up committing suicide is because they feel as if there is no hope anymore. All hope is lost. They feel as if God has abandoned them. They feel as if nothing good will ever come out. But if at all, because they are sometimes also comparing themselves with other people and saying, see how my life is going, see how other people's life, these other persons are doing better, and they feel that they themselves, there is no need for them to continue living because things are not working out. But if they, for a moment, count their blessings and say, for so, and the fact that I'm even alive, it's a proof that tomorrow can be better. And same thing applies to your relationship. So if you are always dwelling on the negatives, it's going to put you in a negative frame of mind concerning your partner, concerning your spouse, and nothing positive will come out. So you will need to heal. You will need to change your mindset. You will need to have a different perspective to this and begin to think of those little things, even those things you think might be too small, that a person is committed to doing. Focus on those ones. It will bring about connection, emotional safety, healing, forgiveness that will bring about a strong bond that will make a stronger relationship. Have you been blessed? I'd like you to like this video. I'd like you to share this video. Don't forget that I am your compass to building relationships that last. And until our next episode, always remember that you deserve the best.